Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live this morning on holiday Monday morning in Canada. I think next Monday is the American holiday, Memorial Day, I think. Okay, I think I got that right. Okay, Holly, you're first one up. Dubraka, how are you? Andrea, how is you? Kevin, am I surprising folks by being on this morning? Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, and John, Elgin, Illinois, Holly. Okay, Sandra, Francis Marie, here we go. Here we go. Now the crowd's coming on. Eric, how are you? Nick, and Len and Judy. Nice to have you on this morning. Jordan, Fran, how are you? You having your coffee? Donna, Mary, Georgie, Halifax, right, Georgie? Robin, Dave, Melville, good morning. You get bonjour. Earlton, Lynn, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Jeanette, Renee, good morning to you. Tina, thank you. Oh, she said I'm surprising them this morning. Hi, Laura. Yes, Georgie is from Halifax. Peggy, Bill, good morning. We appreciate you guys. Vicky from Halifax. Katerina and Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Judy, good morning. And Mary and Marianne, Mary Belinda, good morning. Connie, Linda, how are you? Jeannie, how are you? Yolande, bonjour. Ce matin, comment ça va? Dale and Jan. Okay, guys, good to have you on. We're going to finish up. Brenda, Carol from Tennessee, Lee, Surrey, BC. Bright and early on a holiday Monday. Dolores, Daphne, Carol, and Kamala, Nativity, good morning. Me. I always miss you, eh? Nativity, I don't know why. I mean it. Diane, Sharon, Wyoming. That sounds beautiful. Bruno, Karen, Winnipeg, Lise. Alina, good morning. Chantal, how are you? Savannah, Henna, Louise. Okay, let's get to our questions. We'll finish up our questions that we didn't finish on Friday, okay? Now, Teresa, you're the first one up this morning. I hope you're on with us. Dr. Martin mentioned CoQ10 enzyme for those who are taking statins. Absolutely. If you're taking a statin drug, it will destroy your CoQ10. Now, what is CoQ10? Okay? Well, CoQ10, your body actually makes CoQ10. And your little battery packs, your mitochondria don't work properly without CoQ10, especially your muscle cells, the battery packs within your muscle cells. Now, why is that important? Because your heart is a muscle. In every muscle, you got 5,000 mitochondria, at least. If you're low in CoQ10, your muscle is in trouble. So the very fact that people take a statin drug to help them with heart disease, which in turn, major side effect is it destroys your CoQ10. At least, you'll see it advertised on TV in the United States, a lack of CoQ10 and take it as a supplement. And I agree with that if you're on a statin drug. Now, you don't want to get me going on statin drugs, but if you're taking one, you need CoQ10. Now, what's the best CoQ10, Teresa is asking? Ubiquinol is the one your body absorbs. Ubiquinone is much less absorbable. Your body makes ubiquinol. That's what you want. Now, how would you get CoQ10? Well, it's quite simple. When you eat steak, you're going to get CoQ10. That's why I always tell people vitamin S. You do not necessarily need a supplement of CoQ10. I have it in our heart and brain formula, the omega-3 and Navitol together. Okay? And I put the ubiquinol in there. But those are for people taking statin drugs or whatever. But what I recommend for anyone else, if you want a healthy heart, you need vitamin S, because that's how you make CoQ10. You're not going to make CoQ10 from the plant kingdom. I'm sorry. It won't happen. You're going to have weak muscles. And your heart, the last time I looked, is a muscle. Okay? Is a muscle. So you better take care of that. Very good question, Teresa. Okay? And let me just see here. Okay. Oh, yes. Here's Claire. My grandmother, née Rochefort from Astorville. Now, that's where my grandmother came from. So if you look behind me here and on my left, you will see, well, you see the Martin one, their family tree, and right on the side of it, you don't see all of it, you'll see the Rochefort there, okay? So my grandfather, who started the Martin Clinic in 1911, think of that. What was he thinking? 1911. And Claire was telling me we're probably cousins, okay? Now, I got a picture here, and I haven't hung it up because I brought it from my office. So anyone that would come in to see me in the office would see or recognize this picture. Now, I'm just going to show it to you quickly. Those who are listening on a podcast, you're not going to see this, but this is my grandfather, David Martin, okay? And my brother, David, was named after him. You see that? Okay, 1911. He started the Martin Clinic. I'm going to hang that up. Like I said, I just brought it over from the office because it's been there hanging there for many, many, many years, the founder of the Martin Clinic. But what Claire was saying that she sent to her grandmother or whatever, I don't have the email in front of me. Actually, I do. It's on my phone, but it's not here. And it talks about him sending a potion. And I'm going to call because I want to. I remember my dad telling me some of the stuff that my grandfather put together. I mean, it was incredible, you know, for those days. And they really were, him and his brother, my Uncle Paul, were really light years ahead of their time with potions and herbs and what they did. Incredible. The stories I heard when I first started practice, even before that, people would come from all over to see my grandfather. And so, Claire, thank you. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a whole show on that. Just some of the old remedies and the teas and the mixtures that he made. You know, I learned some of them. Okay. From my dad. And anyway, we've been around a long time. Martin Clinic, 1911. Man, shake my head. Think of it. Okay, so very good, Claire. Thank you, and I want to get that email out and call, I think, your grandma. I really want to catch up with the Rochefort side of the family. Okay, good. Okay, and let me just see here. We'll continue on. Norma, is pancreatitis reversible? Absolutely it is. Remember what I was telling you about your pancreas last week. And I used the illustration of a ballpoint pen because your pancreas actually is the size of a ballpoint pen. Maybe a little bit thicker, but not any longer than a ballpoint pen. And I like the illustration because it talks about a pen will show you how much ink is it left in there, right? Well, your pancreas, you get pancreatitis. It can be an infection or whatever, but most of the time, what's happening is those beta cells within the pancreas are secreting way too much insulin. This is why we see so much pancreatitis today. If you are a carboholic, there's a good chance, a sugarholic, there's a good chance that you're going to get pancreatitis. And that ought to be a big wake-up call for people. That's because pancreatitis, an infection or an inflammation of the pancreas, of course, can be deadly. Because if your pancreas stops working, you're in deep trouble. But what I'm saying is, yes, it can be reversed. It's a food problem. Give your pancreas a break when you eat vitamin S. When you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, your pancreas sits around going, I guess I'm on a break. My body doesn't need me very much. I'm not going to secrete a lot of insulin. You're going to always secrete a little bit of insulin. If every time you eat, you need some insulin. But you don't need much. And you can reverse insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is when your cells don't like insulin coming around. They're tired of it. It's a bad neighbor. They wish they wouldn't come, but insulin's got a job to do. And if you insist on eating crappy food, carbs, sugars, carbs that turn to sugars, crappy foods, you will secrete an enormous amount of insulin. And folks, listen, diabetes is a food problem. It's not, it's not rocket science, guys. If you know someone that's diabetic, look, type 1 is autoimmune. That's different, okay? Now, the treatment isn't different. But type 2 diabetes, which has its onset today, unbelievably, in kids, it's a food problem. You're feeding your body the wrong fuel. And your body's not made for that. And when you do that, that's why we see such problems with diabetes today. And we've talked about it show after show after show that diabetes leads to chronic disease, even because it's a problem of insulin. It's a food problem. And when it's food, you got choices to make. And this is why I hammer that home all the time, all the time, all the time. You got choices to make. Get rid of the carbohydrates and your pancreas takes a holiday in Hawaii. Okay? Say, au revoir. As your pancreas rests. And that's why the reset, you know what's happening to your pancreas when you do the reset, the metabolic reset? It's gone on holidays. It's rejuvenating itself. Never mind what's happening in the liver, which of course, all things start in the gut, but where insulin starts and insulin goes south is not the pancreas, yes, but there's a big connection, which we've taught many a times, to the liver. And we have these disorders that are crippling our society today, costing a fortune. All the tea in China, guys, is not going to pay for the disease care that we have. And the cure for diabetes is very simple. It's changing fuels. It's changing fuels. People don't like me to use the word cure. But if you have diabetes, it'll put it into remission. If you're on your road to diabetes, it will stop you in your tracks and you will get on the right road if you eat right. It's a matter of choosing fuels. Okay. Norma, thank you very much. Wendy, can you eat organ meat 7 days a week? Why not? Nothing can go wrong when you're eating organ meat. I wish I liked it a little bit more, like liver. And somebody asks, and they'll always ask, and I get it. Well, liver, if the liver is where your body detoxes, why would you want to eat liver? Well, you're not eating human liver. You're eating cow liver. Okay? And they eat grass, so don't worry about it. Their livers are spick and span. Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Some of these old things, spick and span. You remember that? Is it still around? Okay. Okay. How many times? Okay. Can you eat liver? And here's what Francine is saying too. Okay. I take blood boost. Smart girl. Francine, I always tell people this. If you find a better product on the market as far as a blood boost, like a multivitamin, mineral, protein, amino acids, everything I put in there, and about 30 different herbs that I love together, I said, if you find anything that's even close to that, I'll give you a prize, because it's unreal. So she's saying, well, I'm worried about too much vitamin A. Well, listen, don't worry about too much vitamin A. You don't have to worry about too much vitamin A. Okay? Like, you're not going to go over 50,000 international units of vitamin A if you have liver and take blood boost. You just won't. And you know what? I know vitamin A is fat soluble, but nobody takes too much vitamin A. They always talk about these fat soluble vitamins and, ooh, they're scared skinny. Oh, you're going to take too much vitamin D. You're going to take too much vitamin A. You're going to take too much vitamin K. K2. Nah, you won't. And by the way, when it comes to vitamin A, you don't hear me telling you to run and get a supplement. Now, if your blood is low and I want to give you a boost to boost your blood up, and you're down in the ditch in terms of your energy, you might use blood boost for a bit but I want you to eat vitamin A. You get it from steak. You get it from liver. Vitamin A. Eggs, meat, and cheese, you get vitamin A. And then you get vitamin K2 in your food. Again, I put it in with our vitamin D, but these are things I want you to eat. I want you to eat. Sabrina is asking something very similar. Okay? Does eating too much protein cause the liver to turn the excess glycogen, thus raising blood sugar? No. Sabrina, look, you're thinking, you're asking a wonderful question, but nobody ever raised their blood sugar by eating too much steak. Okay? You're not going to eat 10 steaks. But let's say you did. What would happen? Well, it's not sugar. Sugar is rapid. Sugar is in nanoseconds. Your body has to get rid of that. So you pour out an enormous amount of insulin to keep your blood sugars regulated. But when you have a steak or liver or a hamburger without the bun, your insulin, like I said, it's on a holiday. It hardly has to do anything. So you're not going to go low for sure, but you won't go high either. Diabetics do not have trouble with steak. It is the food of choice for them. It's high in protein, and I know if your body needs sugar, okay, here's where you're right, Sabrina. If your body needs sugar, it will take a piece of steak and turn it into it. You do not need, look, your body is so intelligent, so fearfully and wonderfully made. It knows how to control things. What your body wasn't made for was the amount of sugar that we consume in this day and age. 200 pounds on average. In North America, we're consuming a dump truck load of sugar. Now your pancreas, your liver, every organ in your body was never, ever, ever made for that. Now, Grandpa here, I tell my grandchildren, I used to have cookies and ice cream too, you know. But not like that. Not like where it was added to everything. Every food, go in the middle aisles of the grocery store. Read your labels. What will you see? Not good. Besides the fact the processing that takes place, those dirty synthetic oils that are made for your car and not for your body are in the middle aisles of your grocery store. But on top of that, sugar. 200 pounds. In the 1950s, Canadians and Americans consumed 25 pounds of sugar a year. A bag full. You ever seen a 25-pound bag? Still too much. Okay? You think, well, yeah, but... And then in the 1970s, when my 4 children were born, all in the 70s, Canadians and North Americans were consuming 50 pounds of sugar a year. Wow, doubled. It doubled. And then something very bad happened. The food industry came up with Frankenstein sugar called high fructose corn syrup. And that fructose goes right to the liver. And guys, when the liver, think of what a bear does. When a bear wants to fatten up before going into hibernation, what do they eat? Fructose, berries, honey. They get ready for winter. And they put on a lot of weight. Well, guess what we've seen in the world, especially in North America? Obesity rates have gone through the roof, my friend. And it all has to do with food. It's not steak. Do you know that meat consumption is down almost 40% from where it was in the 1970s? Because people have lost their collective minds. They vilify meat. And we bought the lie. So protein consumption is way down. Way down. People, don't eat too much protein, a doctor will say. Because why? Oh, that's hard on your kidneys. No, it's not. It's not true. Protein is not hard on your kidneys. There's 3 things that are hard on your kidneys. Sugar, oxalates, your kale and spinach, oxalates, and a lack of water. There's nothing that'll destroy your kidneys like sugar. If you don't believe me, ask a diabetic. If you had money to invest, you'd be investing in kidney, the futures of kidney function, dialysis. Ask a diabetic. They're in trouble. It's not protein, Sabrina. It's not. It's sugar. I haven't met a person that eats too much protein. I mean it. I'm encouraging them to eat more protein and fat. I always am. Because when you're eating protein, and you see what God does? God puts protein and fat together. Eggs, meat, cheese. They're put together. God did that so that you would eat them, because now you're going to have the perfect food. And you notice there's very little carbohydrate. There's really none. It's because it's not essential. Now, I'm not saying don't eat the plant kingdom. Please, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But what I am saying is when your body is stoked up, if you want to give it the right fuel, you'll give it protein and fat in that combination. And what the world does, here's what man does. Man does carbs and fat. The wrong fat. Donuts. You want to see rat chow? You want to know how they make rats? So when they can do their testing, you want to make a rat fat? You give them rat chow. What is it? It's a donut or a combination of fat and carbohydrates. That's what's happened to the world today. It's exactly what's happened. It's not steak. And then, you got red meat's going to give you cancer. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. If you have cancer, you want to be eating steak. Cancer hates steak. It hates it. Can't feed off of it. It's well established, but somehow, with the agendas that we have today, it's incredible. It bothers me. You have no idea. And, and Sabrina's right about asking the question, Sabrina. It's a great question because you're thinking. And, with eating protein and whatever, can it elevate your triglycerides? Nope. It doesn't. It does the opposite. It lowers your triglycerides. I was reading on our private Facebook group the other day, my triglycerides are going up on the reset. You're weird. I mean unique. I can't use that word anymore, they tell me. I mean it in a loving way. Honest. If I call you weird, it's because I love you. Okay? It's my sense of humor, guys. Okay. Thanks for the question, Sabrina. Melanie, how does one know if they have leaky gut? Well, I could give you about 10 clues. If you've got any kind of autoimmune, you have leaky gut. If you've taken antibiotics in the last couple of years and you didn't take probiotics, you probably have leaky gut. Okay? If anything is on your skin, from acne to psoriasis to eczema to dermatitis, you name it, on the skin, you got leaky gut. Okay? If you have, leaky gut, people think leaky gut, digestive issues. No. Maybe. Doesn't mean you could, leaky gut, you can have digestive issues. If you have acid reflux, 99% sure you've got leaky gut. Why is that? Because when you don't have enough acidity, you see, you can get leaky gut from both ways. One, antibiotics. They destroy all your friendly bacteria. Anti-inflammatories. You're on Tylenol or Advil, and you get headaches and you want to take these things. And okay, I understand that. Problem is, it destroys your friendly bacteria. If you insist on diet soda or whatever, that artificial sweetener destroys your microbiome. So you would have leaky gut. You might not have any digestive symptoms, but leaky gut talks to when you have your epithelial layer, that protective layer between your gut and your blood. If it's compromised, you got garbage going in. And the biggest problem is when you have yeast going in the bloodstream. That's problems. But I start with the gut, with any autoimmune, with children. When they have ADD or ADHD or whatever, I change their diet, but I fix their gut. Well, we'll do another show on it, on leaky gut, Let's call it this. Be suspicious of leaky gut when. Okay? Let's do that. Leaky gut, leaky lungs. Leaky gut, leaky brain. Leaky gut, leaky skin. Leaky gut, leaky liver. We talked the other day about the connection between the gut and the liver. Leaky gut, leaky thyroid. Leaky gut, leaky joints. I mean, guys, it's incredible. Okay, very good question. And here's the last one. Manik. Melanie had one more. Let me just get to it fast. How does one know they have fatty liver besides a belly on a woman? You get blood tested. You send me your blood work. I'll tell you if you got fatty liver in a nanosecond. If you get liver enzymes done, I can tell. But I look at your triglycerides and your HDL. I look at your A1C. You put those three together, it'll give you a good indication if you got fatty liver or not, okay? I mean, the way medicine does it is through ultrasound, generally. Okay, Manik. My sister had an appendix removed. Okay. She loves a smoothie with chia seeds, yogurt, and bananas. Well, tell her to change her. Tell her to change. Get Dr. Martin's perfect smoothie. Okay? Anyway. You know what I think about bananas? Don't go bananas over bananas. That's what I think about bananas. They're too sweet. But anyway. Maybe your sister won't listen to that. Someone told her seeds, nuts can block the appendix. Well, she don't have it. It's gone. No, it won't block your appendix. But seeds and nuts can irritate if you have diverticulosis, which is on the other side of your bowel. Okay? Your appendix is more on your right side, and your usually diverticulosis is on the left side. You get a little pouches formed. Nuts and seeds are overrated. Now, I like flax seeds because of lignans and blocking estrogen. But I'm not big on seeds and nuts. You know why? You know what I told you about bears? When they get ready for winter, you know what they eat? Fructose, berries, honey. They're fattening up. So don't you eat it. And the other one is, when squirrels and chipmunks, you know how they get ready for winter? Seeds and nuts, they hide them for the winter. Then they get fat. Seeds and nuts will make you fat. Plus, they'll give you diverticulosis. They can. Be careful with that. Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in on a holiday Monday. Really enjoyed being with you. And we got a great week coming up. So we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Love you.